DJ Statex here. That track you just heard was traditional Vietnamese Dan Bau music. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So I flipped the song and did a little remixing in the last part of that track. So now, on to the podcast VentureTales 3.0. All right, so this is chilling with DJ Statex. It's been a while since we did an episode, but we're back, and I'm
finally, man.
Yeah, I'm here with my good old friend, the intrepid traveler, David. So, Dave, man, what would you like to talk about today in this episode?
I think we're covering what happened in 2015 in Vietnam. So pretty much I think we agreed on this topic is how the hell did I get laid without speaking a word of any proper language of communication before I catch a flight?
How did you? How were you able to pull that off, man?
I have no fucking idea.
About it.
Of course. So I was in Hoi An. Vietnam was probably one of my short. I wish I had more time. It's an amazing fucking country, but you got to go to the less touristic shit, in my opinion. But it's a nice fucking country. So I got finished with a 2-day excursion, going on a motorcycle, cutting into the countryside and whatnot, trying all sorts of different stuff. So it was like a 2-day, 1 night. I almost kind of wish I hung out in Hoi An instead, but hey, you regret nothing in life, right?
Right.
So I'm all sweaty. I haven't showered for 2 So Da Nang is like the modern city of Vietnam in the middle of the country. Like, you'll see this elaborate dragon-shaped bridge, which is, it looks really nice, and it even changes from day to night. So I'm just walking around, hanging out, just kind of people watching. Some girl approaches me. I mean, I've lived in China for 4 months, and Vietnam felt more like China than Southeast Asia in terms of routines, how they go about things, drinking culture, although Ho Chi Minh is a different aspect, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe Da Nang could have been different, but I didn't spend enough time there. Again, this trip felt a little suppressed in some aspects. I'll make some very interesting shit happen, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just yeah. So I'm just walking down, and then this girl just approaches me. I mean, all right, I'm not Asian looking. You probably want my photo, just like China. I'm like, okay, cool, sure, why not? You know?
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of aggressive. So at this point, we're just talking through Google Translate the whole time. I'm pretty much practically mute because I can't speak a word. Like, I know how to say Ciao Ban is hello.
Uh-huh.
Come on is thank you. And I'm probably getting the tones completely wrong.
Yeah, it's a very tonal language.
I think those are my enemies. It is, exactly. Just like Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes up to me and she's like, yeah, sure, we'll take a photo. And I'm thinking, I was kind of like, man, I kind of want my own space a bit, you know? Like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm sweaty, like, I'm not even showered. I'm like, look, my flight's in an hour, whatever's. And I'm carrying my shit, like my backpack and all that. So it's like, yeah, sure, we'll sit down and have a coffee, right? So we sit down, have a coffee. We kind of talk through Google Translate. How familiar are you with the cute Asian girl shit? Like, hee, like their method of flirting, right?
Yeah, I've seen that in the past. Yeah, it's like the stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know you're Filipino, so
it's the stereotypical Asian, cute Asian innocent girl, look. Yeah.
Yeah. No, do they? I'll ask you just in general. Do they do this in the Philippines at all, or no?
and I've seen it sometimes with, Filipinos who have emigrated here. I've seen that, sometimes. Yeah, kind of that shy, Asian kind of behavior. Not so much with the Filipino Americans,
Okay. No, because obviously I know you're Filipino, and obviously you've been there, and that's kind of on my radar of places to go.
Yeah, but it's been years since I've been there.
I was just curious about that. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like how I'm trying to see how this cute, shy Asian thing, how far does it trickle down? And I was trying to see how far it trickled down. Yeah. So this was curious, right? So, yeah. So what happened is like, yeah, sure, we'll go sit down and have a coffee. And I'm sitting in a coffee shop. We're talking through Google Translate. I got the coffee place to guard my bag, shit like that, right? And at this point, I kind of already knew that it was going to get extracurricular, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Asian flirting thing, a little aggressive. I mean, she was aggressive to the point she was with her friend and ditched her friend. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And my mind is
kind of typically they're, stereotypically they're not as forward, particularly like Asian girls, but this is unusual.
Oh yeah, no, this one was.
I mean,
No, this one was forward.
Yeah. But oh well, okay.
I would translate it at this point, I'm keeping my head on the swivel and I'm translating this to, okay, I'm in a public setting like a coffee shop and I'm making sure I'm not getting ripped off, right? Like there's not some huge hustle, right? Because typically if I get hit on within the first 5 minutes, I've been well trained being in China for 4 months in the past, that there is an absolute ulterior motive.
Yep.
So Brazil is weird that they get hit on you in the first 5 minutes, but there is no ulterior motive sometimes, but you don't know. Asia, you could conclusively say that. I think you could agree with that. You could almost conclusively say that. And this is kind of what makes this story unique, as I'm going to continue telling it. So we're in the coffee shop and she's like, yeah, let's go to the bar and drink. And I'm like, I can't. I got a flight in like an hour and a half. At least one thing working to my favor, the airport is only 3 kilometers away.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least it was like, there's time. We're talking through Google Translate. And at this point, I kind of knew she wanted to do something extracurricular. So, and I was like, look, I don't have time to drink. We can hang out here or something like that, right? So, communicating through I'm like, okay, are you cool with doing shit? Like, we probably have to go somewhere more private, right?
That's...
And she's like,
go ahead.
Okay. Then I go, and I'm sitting there for 10, 15 minutes. Why? At this point, I kind of knew she wanted to fuck, but I'm like, why? I'm sitting there, why? Like, I don't find her overly attractive. I'm not into the whole do her for the sake because it's presented to me, and if I don't do her, then I'm gay or something like that. I'm not into this, like, social pressure bullshit, right? That, oh, if some chick comes at me, then I have to take it, right? So I'm thinking why. I'm sitting there honestly thinking why. And I'll tell you at the end why. So once I kind of know that's going on, and it's like, okay, this is going to be extracurricular. And it may require to take our clothes off. Like, are you cool with that, right? She says yes. And we walk, and it's like 4 blocks to the hotel room, right? Like, I'm like, okay, got the cafe people to guard my bags. I'm like, all right, I'm walking over. I'm kind of like, okay, keep in mind the whole time I'm not saying there's paranoia, but there's like what hustle is coming in. I even dump most.
Where's the point where you get robbed here? You know.
I actually didn't. What I did before going to the room with her was I put most of my money inside my other bag and then guarded it there. So I had little money. And I was under the impression, like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to, like, yeah. So it was like, cool, I'll pay for the room or something like that, right? So I guarded most of my money in the bag. So it was like, whatever I pay for the room, I'm expecting that if I get robbed or something, I don't got shit you could take from me, right? Most of my shit is guarded and whatnot. It's just me, right? It's not like I have a distrust, but it's see what's next. And it explains why I'm a little bit intrepid too. So I go in and then she walks me. She takes me to the room, right? She takes me to the room. And holy fucking shit, she fucking pays for the room. I'm not actually, I take that back. She did pay for the room. I do remember this. Yeah, she paid for the room first. So it was probably, I know, man. The currency is called the dong. In Vietnam. And it's 22, yes, dong. And when I was there, and this was 2015, and this was like November 2015, it's like 20, at that time it was like 22,000 dong for $1 US. And I guarantee you're gonna, I'm sure I've shared this childish joke with you, right? Carry the dong in my wallet, and I go, I have a lot of dong. Do you want to feel it? Do you want to see? And I pull out my wallet, and they're like, no, really, I have a lot of dong.
Yep. Oh, man.
Apparently she wanted, I was thinking, like my money. So of course that's why I left most of my dong behind, right?
You were breaking up there. Are you on Bluetooth or on a headset?
Okay.
Yeah, because you've been breaking.
I'm on headset and it's Wi-Fi.
During the past, since we've been doing the podcast, yeah, you're kind of in and out, intermittently.
The whole time. Okay, I switched to 4G. I got off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, probably just go with the more consistent, signal.
Yeah, it's streaky because, I mean, at least the tech is cheap in Israel, but yeah.
Yeah, I would go with just the more consistent, like, signal, so we get less, dropouts. Yeah. Because I'm hearing most of your story, but it's
okay. Cool. So I was getting to the point that I guarded most of my dong with the coffee and whatnot, and I was planning to carry the dong with me just to my room.
You're carrying your dong in more ways than one.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm thinking she wants my dong too, like money. Like, it's like, okay, is this her and I? And I go, why the fuck is she paying for the room?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, she's paying for the room. So it's like, I'm thinking I could be locked in, trapped. There may be somebody else sitting in the room trying to rob me. Like, all this shit is running through my head.
Yep.
I mean, she's not ugly, but I wouldn't consider her as overly attractive. Like, she isn't the type that's like, ooh, I want that, or because I've seen much prettier girls. But
all right, on a scale of like 0 to 10, where is she on that scale, you think?
Probably like 5.5 or a 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like probably 5 to 5.5.
So average looking. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
average looking. Yeah, like it could be a lot worse. I've seen more attractive looking women too. I mean, it's
Right. Yeah.
at this point I'm in the room. It's like, okay, and there was a condom in the room, so great. So it was like, all right, you're gonna laugh. I only did her in one position.
Yep.
Like she's the kind that like I'm not that attracted to her. Like I'm not gonna put the effort to get her off. Like if I'm really into a girl, yeah, I'm gonna make sure she gets off. Like I'm like so I'm very conscious of that. But this one is like I've gotten to the point. It's like sure, why not? And it's like okay, so I only do her in one position where I'm on top. And the reason why is she doesn't pull any shit like a knife to my throat or something like that if she gets on top or something. So I'm just dominating and staying in position to make sure I'm safe. So I only fucked her with me being on top just so the shit doesn't go down.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of take the clothes off. I wasn't overly caring to look at her naked either. So we go in. All right. Make sure I'm hard. You know the fucking routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I got a blowjob or not. I honestly don't. So, and I'm not opposed to the blowjob neither, but if I don't have one, it's not the end of the world neither, right? So I honestly don't remember if I had one. There's a little bit of, okay, let's kiss just to get the shit going. It was kind of like boom, boom, boom. It was almost like she was a free hooker. I'm not kidding.
Wow. Wow.
it felt more like hooker sex than like somebody you're hooking up with, right?
Uh-huh. Huh. It's like wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, it was kind of like that. And it was just one position, me on top. And at least she was good enough where I got my nut off. So, and I nutted in the condom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not going to do, obviously, because I'm in the room, she paid for it. I don't know if this is a stick operation or something. I purposely pinned her down and stayed on the whole fucking time. So I probably had to go, I don't remember how long it lasted. It didn't feel like forever, but I had to go for a decent amount. And it was just like, just get it off, right? And that was just my sole mission.
Well, yeah,
keep her in that.
You're also in limited time since you have to catch a flight too, you know?
Yeah, that's true. At this point, I wasn't overly thinking about that, but my biggest thing was make sure she doesn't rob me. She's not armed or something like that, right?
Yep.
Shit like that. Initially, when she paid for the room, I thought there was like gonna be 2 or 3 other guys trying to kick my ass or something like that.
Yeah, as you would probably expect, like for something that's too good to be true, you know?
Yeah, so I was looking at, and this is why, because the other thing too, when I was gonna fuck her, it's possible you could lure me in with the sex, and then somebody else comes in and shit goes down, right?
Yeah, it's a bait and switch. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I stayed on top the whole fucking time. That was the real reason why. I got my nut, right? It was like, okay, cool. Let's clean up. I wasn't inclined to shower because, again, back will be take my stuff and run, right?
Right.
Yep. Just wiped off, cleaned up. All right, throw the pants on. I mean, at this point, I haven't even showered for 2 days. I'm like, yeah, just get your flight. You'll just take a shower when you get to Ho Chi Minh. Because this was the end of my trip in Vietnam. So apparently she got off too. Her way of explaining it, which is cool. It's like, great, I don't have to put the effort to get you off. Nice, not so bad, right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. And it was like, you're probably pretty cool. She had like a cut. She'll ride her motorcycle. It's like, yeah. And she looks better. Like I saw photos of her later. Like she looks better with her glasses on than off. And she had her glasses off. So, I mean, whatever. So, I mean, this is not. I mean, it's at the end of the day, how somebody looks in terms of attraction level is not going to deviate drastically. It really doesn't. So, she walks out, and then she's like, "Touch my face," because she's all sweaty, right? That was like her way of telling, like, "I like this. I got off," right? And then she was trying to get all arm in arm and all romantic. I'm like, oh, come on. It's like, well, I'll play along for the moment. Like, no robbery, no nothing. Like, obviously everything turned out to be safe. Now I'm like, cool, I'm alive, I'm relieved.
Wow.
It's like, we got there is no dangers going on. Checklist. Okay, this was a safe fuck.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how you did that. Like, jeez.
I wonder. I still don't know. And it's like...
It's like a 1 in a billion, freaking chance encounter.
I don't look Vietnamese and I have a beard. I mean... So it's going to be almost like Bolivia where most men don't grow beards type of shit.
But...
I mean, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm as confused as you are how the fuck this shit happened.
Well, you know what? I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like... Yeah. So, she's like, touch my face all sweaty. Like, yeah. And then she's like, I'm like, oh, God. Now she wants the romantic part. I'm like, shit, I don't want to be romantic. I reluctantly fucked you. I half-assed the staying on top. I was like looking out for my safety the whole time. I'm like dealing with this like, what the fuck is up? And then all of a sudden this shit is romantic. There is a language barrier, so of course it can be more innocent, and I wish I spoke Vietnamese. Maybe it'd be more comfortable. Like at this point, like the whole time, by the time I made my mind up, sure, let's propose the idea of fucking her and go into a room, right? At this point, I was like, this is fucking transactional to me. And this happened. I mean, we accepted the podcast this year, right? So the only reason I ended up fucking her, truthfully, just to tell the story amongst buddies, like come back. Hey, anything happened? Yeah, I fucked some girl and I thought I was gonna get robbed, and that actually didn't happen. And she paid for the room.
I mean, at the very least, it's like basically, it's just basically two consenting adults doing, what they do.
Adults. I was making sure. I typed it 3-4 times to get her consent on Google Translate. This was the communication. I've done this in China, so this was nothing new for me.
Right.
This is the consent. So, okay, great. Yeah, we're agreeing with this. Okay, cool. She signed off on the consent. Now, I didn't save the transcription in the conversation. Maybe it would have been smarter for me. I don't think she's going to cry rape if she paid for the room. So, at least I knew this wasn't rape. Although, if anybody's more likely to call rape, it's me, not her. Let's just say that. It was consensual fully.
I mean, it worked out for both parties.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, she was trying to get all wrong. I'm like, fuck no. I mean, we swapped phone numbers. She didn't have WhatsApp somehow. I mean, hell, you don't need it for some reason. My dad has even downloaded WhatsApp. You don't even have that yet. I don't want to install another app. Sorry, Alex, I gotta fuck with you on that one.
Yeah, it's another app. Another app. It's taking up my space, my freaking memory.
Yeah, if you're gonna have one, use WhatsApp. She had like Viber and Tango, which Tango I don't use. Viber I no longer use, so Viber was good.
Does she have Line? Because Line's another popular one in Southeast Asia in particular.
No, she didn't. She gave me, it was just Viber and Tango, weirdly.
Interesting. Because, I mean, we've communicated through Line,
Yeah, we have, yeah. WhatsApp is like the most universal one. Yeah. So she's all romantic, and it's like, I pretty much like, I got the I fucked her. I got the story, and it's like, to me, I think it's gonna be history, right? So the good news is we walk back, we grab the stuff, and it's like, look, I gotta take a taxi. I got a flight to catch, right? I still made it to my flight on time, and it turned out my flight was delayed.
Nice. Time for round two. Just kidding.
Nah, man, it was... Nah, I was like, dude, I'm cool with it. Round two, I probably wouldn't have been opposed to it. I probably would not be opposed to it. I'm not going to go out of my way for it to happen. I probably wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd probably do other positions besides me being on top. So yeah, I would be down for round two. I can do more than one position.
Yeah, after you figure it out, like, oh, okay, this is gonna be okay.
Yeah, this is not like a robbery or some shit. This is not like a setup. Okay,
some
cool.
Shady shit, yeah. It's like she's just a freak.
Yeah. I'm like, cool.
Yep.
Round two. All right, I'm cool with round two. Sure, why not? I would have been cool with that if I knew there was time. But got it done. She was trying to I made it to my flight, and then the next day I was coming back to Seattle, like when I was living there at that time. So she tried staying in touch, and I'm just like, oh God. Fortunately, I lost touch with her about 2-3 months later. Like, I guess there is a friendship. I'll be nice enough, but I didn't care to. It's like, I don't have time.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's pretty much the story. That's pretty much the story.
That is pretty much the story. And you know where you get all romantic? I'm like, maybe she could be crazy too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it could be that clingy type of person.
Yeah, it's
who knows?
Who knows? At that point, I wasn't gonna give a shit to go past it. So that was that. I lost contact. I probably have to look up my contacts on my phone to see what her name is. I think it's Wong or something like that, Hoang. But hell, even I'm still debating whether to remember her name. That tells you how little.
So, bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, all safe. Oh my God, it's possible in Asia you can get laid without getting robbed or assaulted or having to pay a shit ton of money. Oh, they just hit on you and this shit happened. I'm like, okay, really? Of course, when it came to the bedroom, I guess me being on top kind of worked out because I want to say she was a freak and it was like going on top, but I probably didn't allow her to like go absolutely crazy neither because it's like, again, I don't know if this was a safe fuck or not. And I don't mean safety like shit. I mean safety like for my life.
Yeah, you wanted to be cautious, and which is what you should be doing.
Yeah. It turned out nothing was bad. Like Latin culture is way more expressive that if it gets to the point you're hooking up, you kind of at that point, at the time you're hooking up, you have a sense of safety, right?
Yeah.
If it's like an over bada bing, like you could do that. Like, but one, there's a huge language barrier between Vietnamese. I mean, I speak Spanish and Portuguese, so I guess that's easier for me in that sense. So I wouldn't know what it's like not speaking the language and be like, oh, this is clean sex. So clean as in no robberies. Sure, you could count using a condom as clean, but like no robberies, assaults, no setup shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does help if you can speak the language. It definitely makes a difference. As far as communication.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
and kind of like expressions and context. But Latinos are inherently more expressive, so you could kind of get that. But this one, it was like, yeah, I guess she was direct and she was going for way more than I fucking realized at that time. I was not thinking she wanted to fuck. I was not even giving the shit neither. It was like, okay.
Alright.
I'm like, oh, cool. I was like, cool, like not getting laid in Vietnam. I'm like, oh, okay, I got laid. Cool.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, so that is pretty much that story. It is possible.
I guess anything is possible with David the Intrepid Traveler.
Yeah, if nothing happened, like, okay, cool. And there are some attractive women in Vietnam. I wouldn't place her in that level.
Mm-hmm.
I know I go back to Vietnam, but what?
But
Go
yeah,
ahead.
but she's you know, I mean, she's not too, you know, like unattractive too, though. She's kind of in the middle, so she's average, you know.
Yeah, nothing worth complaining about, but even like personality-wise is not the type I would be attracted to. So
yeah. I mean, personality is definitely more, you know, what I'll go for, anyways, you know.
Yeah, so would I. I mean, her looks was good enough to get me in the door, which is precisely what happened. Just good enough for that, and she clearly did all the work.
Man, David.
More like she picked me up, not me picking her up.
Hey, you know, that's maybe she's probably kind of a more forward or kind of like a, what do you call it, progressive, you know, kind of going against the norm where the guy typically has to do all the legwork and trying to be the, you know, I guess dominant, or you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, she could be, you know, kind of, you know, all about, you know, just breaking the mold, and that's cool.
Not all about foreign dong, like different currency.
Yeah. Yep. So anyways, I guess that's the story, right? And
yeah, this one was gonna be shorter than the other two. Yeah, and I kind of knew that. This one was gonna be a little bit shorter. There weren't as many twists and turns.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Now let's go and talk about, you started recently your own YouTube site, which we're posting more of our Adventure Tales episodes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more? Can you tell the audience more about that?
What we're doing now is you're the audio engineer, so you're doing all the audio engineering, you're doing the initial recording, you're putting it to iTunes, Spotify, all the audio, all the podcast places. I know there's a wider audience than that. We want people worldwide listening to this from whatever country. So people are not going to pay for iTunes or Spotify. So I want to put this on YouTube, which is up there right now. The channel is called VentureTales. It's still semi under construction. There's no cool logo or anything like that. Feel free to subscribe it. Soon enough, we're going to move everything to Facebook as well. And we're going to go ahead and post it on Facebook as well, too.
Are you doing
Are
you planning to do Instagram?
That could be an option too. I'm not opposed to it. I haven't looked that far down the road. I mean, if I do one, I'm not opposed to doing the Instagram medium too. I'm not sure how well Instagram works for longer videos, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Right. Yeah, so
me slipping in a few still photos from my personal travels. So before we called, I'm banging my head trying to find them, like, where the hell is it on my shitty Amazon cloud? So
yeah, so
which is included in my Prime account. So like back in those days, it was great, but I'm just gonna pay for this shit. It's like, this is worth my money to pay and have control of how I order shit. Amazon has fucked this shit up.
Yeah, and put it as a business expense.
Of course, that's the purpose. Yeah. Everything is this call. I mean, put your shit as a business expense too.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, there's not, from on my end, there's not too much, overhead. But anyways, yeah. So
this whole doesn't have overhead. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, y'all should comment, like, send us emails about feedback on how we can be better, because we're constantly trying to make this the show better. I have continue to look at my own stuff on Chilling with DJ Statex. It's on Anchor and YouTube. Actually, Anchor and iTunes and all the other Spotify and other platforms. But the main platforms I'm on is Anchor and iTunes, Chilling with DJ Statex, and also VentureTales for David's adventures. So
and you should, and I'll say this firsthand, they should listen to your music on DJ Statex. I've even asked you for some tracks and beats that you put in, and you've passed them over to me willingly. I'm like, I still listen to them, man.
Yes, yeah. I also have like a Mixcloud account, and all those links are on my Anchor site and iTunes. So, hey, I'm going to call it here, and good talking to you again, David, and see you on the flip side.
Exactly, man. Sounds good, man. I mean, I'm working on the other stuff. We'll be in communication, and yeah, we'll get back to recording monthly. We're gonna get back to it. It's been a crazy life. I'm setting up in Israel, so it's been.